Hey everybody, Adam Carroll here and Molly Rose Speed. We are the dynamic duo behind National Financial Educators, as well as Renzo LLC, where you can find us at renzoexperience.com. Hey, we wanted to do this recording because there's a number of people that are trying to figure out how to work from home effectively, particularly in teams. And Molly Rose and I have been working together for the past 6 years now. And so we wanted to come together and just share some of our best practices, the tools we're using. What other tips do we have today, Molly Rose?
Really, it's around communication. So there's lots of different tools out there for working remote, but how do you communicate to ensure that you're efficiently and effectively getting what you need to get done every week? Because it's easy to get lost when you're at home.
No
So
doubt.
that's what we want to address today.
And I feel like we can speak to this effectively because we've both been work from home entrepreneurs for the past almost decade, me decade and a half, you at least a decade. So what we're going to do is we're going to share a little bit about our backgrounds, how we got here, and then dig right into the tools. So very briefly, I am a speaker and author. I'm kind of a mediapreneur. I created a documentary on student loan debt, sold it to CNBC, had a TED Talk that went viral on YouTube. I've been on 750 college campuses in the last 15 years. And most recently, I've been doing a lot of consulting work with organizations around culture and developing a proper culture. And it wasn't until I met Molly Rose and she helped systematize me that we actually started really getting traction, getting things done. And so I really wanted to bring her into this conversation and have her share her expertise. So we'll bounce back and forth a little bit. Molly Rose, why don't you share your background and how we got here, and then we'll dive in.
Yeah, so didn't realize this until about a few years ago, until the term really hit media mainstream, but I'm a business integrator, which means that I help visionaries like Adam execute. So I'm your systemization, automation. I can tell you how to go from A to Z very quickly. So that's kind of what I bring to the table. And in the process of my past 6 years, I've been a virtual assistant and kind of transitioned into this business integrator role. And I also train and place virtual assistants with my program. It's called the Virtual Assistant Academy. So I have a little bit of everything going on in regards to being an assistant for someone else. And it's been a great journey. So what's also really cool is I live in Florida. I'm from Iowa originally, and Adam's in Iowa. And so we were able to have this business that's rather successful cross country actually. So it's worked out really well.
Yeah, you're in Florida. I want to be in Florida.
Yeah.
I'm in Iowa. You're from us. It all works out.
That's great.
So here's what we're going to talk about today. When you are working with someone virtually, communication, as Molly Rose mentioned, is paramount. And there are 3 things that we're going for in our communication on a weekly basis. And those 3 things are clarity, it is alignment, and it is purpose. So we want to make sure we're both clear on what our outcomes are for the end of the week. We want to make sure that we are aligned on the tasks that are there. And we want to make sure that whatever we're doing, we are doing with purpose. And so when we started working together, we were looking for tools and resources that we could use to help us create and maintain clarity, alignment, and purpose on a weekly basis. And Molly Rose introduced me to a project management tool, which we are going to show you here in just a second. And Mols, if you want to talk through how we use Asana particularly and the benefits of it.
Yeah, so in order to have clarity and alignment, we have to be on the same page. So to do that, we host a Monday morning call where we both get on. It's usually about 30 minutes, and it's really just making sure we're on the same page. So when we do that, we go through a weekly call schedule, and we use Asana as our resource to do that. Go. And this is an outline that was introduced to us by a friend of ours. His name's Chandler Bolt, and I'll link to that in the notes below. He has a great video that really dives deep into this. But when we get into Asana, which we use throughout the week, we start with our weekly action call. And in here, we go through the current business status, talk about good news, a little positivity to start our week. Important things to pass along. A lot of this is deals we've closed or clients that we need to be discussing that are top of mind. And then we always have our March goals, our monthly goals at the top of the list. And then we get into kind of our structured call for the week. So right down here, you see this 15-minute identify, discuss, solve. Here is where we come to the meeting, and this is completely filled out on a Monday morning. And it's all the questions we have, all the things that are pending, everything that we need to get on the same page about. And then we create the who, what, when list. And that's what goes from there. So I actually grabbed the wrong one. Adams is here. So you can see today we talked about the Zoom call that we were going to do today, and we had something pending for a bank account with a credit card. These would then get assigned to us for the week. And that's how we leave our calls. Everything is left with a who, what, and when. So, do you have something to add?
Yes. Well, so the beautiful part about this, and if you want to show them how this works, anyone who's not used Zoom, not used Asana, is the ability to assign project work and a due date. So like on the Zoom call or the credit card models, if you want to assign that to me and show them what the date would look like.
Yeah, so you just click there and we have users, and then we have a due date.
And the beauty of this is knowing what has been assigned to you. When you log into your own Asana account, if you go to My Tasks up at the top, it will populate everything that you've been assigned with the due dates. You can sort them by due dates. You can sort it by a number of different categories. But for us, this has been absolutely essential to stay on track, to stay on point. Molly Rose is brilliant at putting all this together. And I will admit, she's sort of drugged me along by the nose to make sure I'm in this on a daily basis. I'm still a work in progress, but I know how essential it is. And there was a long time where I kind of treated it haphazardly, and now I'm much more on point in terms of being in Asana on a regular basis.
The big thing to call out too, especially on a Monday morning, is our weekly priorities. So it's our goal to leave the call with, we each have 3 main priorities. You shouldn't have more than that. Less is okay. They're big projects. And what's great here is I might throw what I think is a priority up, and Adam might say, hey, actually this is the focus, and vice versa. So we can kind of make sure that we're on the same page. If I have a project that requires something big from him, it needs to be on his priority list in order for me to execute. So it's just great communication and able to kind of level set there.
So in effect, we use Asana as our project management tool, as our task list and assigning tasks. Our goal is to check off the items through Asana throughout the week. And Molly Rose is very diligent about making sure that I'm checking off what I am tasked with, as she does as well. And one of the tools that we use in addition to Asana, or in conjunction with it, is the entire Google Drive suite. And I don't know if you've got a link that we can show, Malls, or if you want to talk through how we've organized this.
Yeah, so this is our Google Drive, super organized, and this is all shared. So it's really important. We've probably all been in cloud documents where you have to request access and it just slows you down. So making sure that you have the admin rights set from the get-go is key, especially for your assistants out there that are the ones executing. So share from the top of the folder, which happens up here. And then we have a very organized folder. I color-coded things to keep it happy and bright. And so this is where all of our documents that we are utilizing this week live. And then we link to them in Asana for communicating to each other.
Yes. So this has been kind of revolutionary for us. And I've introduced it to other people who said, oh, we've been using Dropbox, or we've been using, Microsoft Word docs that we just plug in. The challenge with those is you can't edit them in live real time like you can in Google Drive. And so Molly Rose and I could be in Asana, quick look at a document, and she and I could both be in editing that document within Google Drive. So this for us, the Google Suite has been just a game changer in terms of organizing how we're sharing documents, making sure that we have the links. Links are never lost because we know exactly where they are. We can do a quick search in Asana and find them. So without Google Drive, I think we would be scrambling for a solution.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Do you want to go through the other tool that we find essential?
Yep. So we have our call. We use Asana. all of our organization and our tasks, but what if we have a question for one another throughout the week? Picking up the phone works, but sometimes it takes us out of our productivity time. So we use Voxer, which is a walkie-talkie app. You can download this on your phone. It's a mobile app, and it truly works like a walkie-talkie. It even makes that little beep noise when you're talking to each other. And it's great because if I'm kind of doing a power hour of work, trying to be really productive, I can see that I have a message there that doesn't require my immediate attention, but something that I need to know about, and check it when I'm done with that productive time. And then if it's an SOS, we always say, pick up the phone and call us if you have to know right away. So that's kind of our rule of thumb.
Yep. And I think the benefit of using Voxer, what we've noticed is that a phone call can get into a number of different things. I mean, we could ask, hey, how are you? And then you start this dialogue, oh, I went here for lunch, or, oh, well, the dog's really bugging me today, or whatever it may be. Whereas with Voxer, it's like, hey, did you send the invoice on this particular deal? And a quick answer right back, yep, I did. It went out yesterday. It answers the question. It's not an email. Our goal is to limit the email production as much as possible, because email is the bane of my existence. And I desperately want to get to a point where I'm at inbox zero. But to do that, you have to be very conscious about not creating more email. Mm-hmm. And so she and I are hyper aware of that as we use Voxer to make sure we're getting questions answered in rapid fashion.
Yeah, and actually that's a really good point. You'll notice that none of the tools that we're recommending are email. So stay to these channels when it comes to business.
Yeah. And some people will say, well, what about text message? Do you use text? And I think we probably, we kind of bleed over into texting every now and again. And for us, we're probably most efficient when we're sticking to one channel, like sticking to Voxer, getting everything Voxer, because we know that it's there. When we see a notification, we're going in, and typically it's from one of the two of us.
I always recommend business owners or leaders to use a different system for business matters and use text message for personal check-ins or side conversations, because there's two different channels there. So at 6 o'clock, I might get a text that's personal, talking about a TV show or something that's funny, as opposed to a Voxer that needs to be done for work. So they're two different mindsets that really help the person that you're delegating to.
Yep, absolutely. So one of the things that Molly Rose and I use is the idea of compressing time. And compressing time, or that whole notion of compressing time, came from the 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss. And it's the idea of, number one, doing the 80-20 rule. So focusing on the 20% of your activities that generate 80% of your results. And number two is compressing the time that you're given to get the most important things done in a shorter amount of time. So we do 90-minute sprints on the regular. And what that means is we'll set a timer for 90 minutes. We're going to go to town on whatever is in front of us. And both of us are going to work in tandem on that thing until we get it done.
Yeah, super productive. I work in 90-day sprints all day long. When Adam does it as a visionary, it's hard for him to get to that time to do it. The results are crazy. So we've been doing that this week since we've had a lot of downtime, and our productivity has been through the roof.
Yes, absolutely. And again, I think that goes back to alignment. When we are aligned on knowing that, like for me, it's really important for me to know that if Molly Rose is counting on me getting something done, I've got to focus on getting it done and get it back to her, because I am probably the bottleneck on that particular thing. Mm-hmm. So cool. All right. So we've gone through tools. We've gone through the resources that we use. We start on Monday, setting the tone for the week. We use all those tools in the middle of the week, generally touching base at least a couple times, typically via phone, or we'll do a Google Hangout or a Zoom chat just like this. Mm-hmm. Again, those are mainly touch base meetings to make sure we're both tracking. And then last but not least, we do a Friday wrap-up call. So Molly, you want to talk us through that?
Yeah, so same idea. We use that call agenda in Asana that I showed you earlier. And it's really about what has been completed, what is still pending, what went well, and what do we need to change for next week to be productive. So it's a good level set, kind of a what did we win on this week? Feels good to end the week that way. And then we send send each other off into the weekend and pick it all up again on Monday morning.
Absolutely. So we initially set out to do this recording because we found that there were a lot of people asking, well, how do you work together, or how do you manage to do this when you're several states away? And so hopefully what we've shared with you is helpful. If you have questions, please email either Molly Rose or myself. You can comment on the on the Facebook post that we'll put this in, or on the YouTube channel where this will live. We are happy to help other entrepreneurs work better together. That's one of the things that we actually love to do. Where I'm more the visionary, as Molly Rose said, she's more the integrator. Together, what we are problem solvers. We love to take a situation where people are really struggling to get something done, and we want to help connect the dots from someone who says, I have this idea, I want to do this, I don't know how to do it. We love to come in and help people knock that out. So if you have questions, please feel free to shoot us a note on social media. Other commentary from you?
No, we just wish everyone a lot of productivity, and I hope that this was helpful to you. So go out and execute.
Yeah, hang in there, be productive. See you next time.
All right.